My name is Nicole Quintanilla, and today I am going to be teaching you guys about the Wayuu tribe located in Colombia. So, with my learning outcomes, I'm going to be telling you guys about the history of the Wayuu people. So, basically, their culture and what their culture consists of. Then, I'm going to be taking you guys through the history of colonization in Colombia. Then, I'm going to be talking about female leadership, as that is a prominent role that is evident in their tribe. I'm also going to be talking about the challenges they faced. And lastly, I'm going to be touching base on the similarities between the Wayuu people of Colombia and the Indigenous people of Canada. And yeah, I just want to explain my reasoning towards choosing the Wayuu tribe. I am part Colombian, so I thought it would be kind of cool just to dig deeper into the culture of where my background comes from. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so like I said in my intro, my project is based on the Wayuu tribe, and they are also known as the people of the sun, sand, and wind. So the history of the Wayuu tribe. The Wayuu tribe lives in a number of small isolated communities in order to prevent the mixing of goats, cows, and crops. The people live in huts called rancherias that are made from cactus or palm-leafed thatch roofs. And the walls of the hut, also known as yotohoro walls, are made of mud, hay, or dried sugarcane. Each hut has a couple of hammocks and a small fire pit for cooking. And within the rancherias, they are able to preserve their traditions and stay away from modern culture while passing knowledge from generation to generation. And the tribe thrives off of farming, craft making, and in coastal areas, pearl diving. So within each community, there is a communal area called Luna or Emranda that usually is an opening with pillars holding a thatched roof. It is here where social gatherings, meetings, and events happen. Their culture is involved with legends, myths, stories, traditions, and customs, which is also taught in the Luna or Emranamanda. The Wayuu tribe is unique in that the women own the houses they live in and run the families, while the men work the land and care for the animals. So, besides crops, cattle, and aquaculture, the Wayuu peoples also make their own textiles called mochila bags. Wayuu peoples are best known for their beautiful, colorful crochet bags created by the women of the tribe. They even have a popular saying to be a woman is to know how to weave. These are small bags made of colorful yarn with intricate patterns and motifs. Through the motifs, the weaver shares their cosmological view of the universe and their traditions. These techniques are passed from generation to generation of women, making it one of the primary traditional aspects of the tribe. So within each household, the mother teaches her daughter how to weave and crochet, keeping the tradition alive. To the Wayuu, weaving is a symbol of wisdom, intelligence, and creativity. As young Wayuu women come of age, they learn to create mochilas. According to legend, the tradition comes from the wild karoo, a spider that taught the women how to weave their creative drawings into the Wayuu bags. Each design incorporated into every Wayuu bag is unique to the weaver, telling a story through the bag's colors, patterns, and shapes. Mochilas have become a means of economical income for Wayuu women to sell to tourists or people outside their tribes. And also, the bags help raise awareness of the tribe as well as the critical conditions they face. So this is just an example of some of the bags that they have made. And in the bottom row, these are examples of motifs that have significance to them that may be woven into these bags. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about the history of colonization in Colombia. So the Wayuu people have battled with the Spanish and the government to keep their traditions alive for a long time. They were never conquered by the Spanish. So throughout the 17th century, the Wayuu fought against the occupiers and became known as a fierce tribe. Their tenacity enabled them to preserve their traditions, especially through their language, Wayuu Naiki, which remains largely spoken, although the newer generations speak Spanish as well. The tribe became stronger due to their gain in knowledge from the Dutch and British invaders, who taught them to fight, use firearms, and ride horses. After resisting the Spanish colonization, the Wayuu people began to face tremendous discrimination and exclusion from both the Colombian and Venezuelan governments, each taking away their rights and raw materials from their land. In turn, each community has their own government and is set free from both Colombia's and Venezuela's laws. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about female leadership. Although the Wayuu tribe has traditionally treated women as equal to men and have a more matriarchal culture than other indigenous Colombians, for years the Wayuu tribe was ran by a male chief. But 13 years ago, male elders decided to appoint a woman as its leader. Nieres Urania was elected in 2005. She was already involved in providing support to the community's mothers, and Jorge Urania, along with other elders, believed that she had the qualities needed to lead the tribe. It was a first for Wayuu communities. Jorge Urania, Nieres and Urania's husband, explained that traditionally, Wayuu men would negotiate and resolve disputes, but that some leaders came off as confrontational and even aggressive. Whereas women, when they speak, they address the human side. They tend to be more peace-loving and more humanitarian in their outlook. They wanted women to use their way of dialogue to resolve their conflicts, and they wanted to transform their culture. So here, this is Nieres Urania, and she is still a leader, an informal leader of one of the communities today. With La Guajira being an area that receives very little rainfall, droughts have severely impacted the Wayuu communities. But since Nieres Urania took up her position, she has introduced a long-term agricultural initiative to help sustain her community, rather than continually living hand to mouth. Nieres sought the help of outsiders to teach her and other women in the tribe about irrigation, crop cycles, and land use, so that they could have ample produce throughout the year. The women also used their ancestral knowledge of lunar cycles to plant food and strongly believed they could use their connection with the earth to sustain themselves. The initiative has become a success, and the tribe now produces surplus food and sells it to other nearby communities. So, challenges they faced. So, in the beginning, within my proposal, I originally was going to talk about poverty. However, as I was thinking more about it and just hearing what Wendy had to say about what is poverty and what the meaning of poverty is, I don't believe that there is such a tribe that undergoes poverty. I think every tribe has a bountiful of resources. So I decided to take this out of my plan. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know and show you that even though the Wayuu tribe was seen as a fierce tribe that was unlawless and just corrupt, they still had land, they had food and cattle, they had mochilas to bring them income, and most importantly, they had community. So another challenge they faced was increased child deaths. Thousands of children have died, and more lives are in danger as a result of exploitation of land, misallocated water, and lack of health care. Wayuu children are starving and dying of thirst in northern Colombia as a result of the government's damming of the Rancheria River, which diverted the water to big farms, mines, and wealthier areas. Now the Wayuu must walk for more than 3 hours to wells that are often polluted with bacteria and salt, causing severe diarrhea. According to a 2014 study, in the last 3 years, at least 5,000 Wayuu children have died of starvation, and more than 3,700 children are suffering malnutrition. So today it is estimated that the number of child deaths is closer to 14,000. So, I mean, that's kind of a jump from 5,000 to 14,000. And to add to the already dire situation, the limited support provided by the Colombian government does not reach the Wayuu people. For example, more than $50 million invested in the food and nutrition program within Colombia hasn't reached this community yet. In the late 1970s, the government partnered with Carbachol and Exxon's Intercore to create the largest coal mining operation in Latin America. It is called El Querejón Coal Mining Project in Guajira. Since the 1980s, the mining operation has not only impacted the indigenous ecology, but has also created a socio-economical and cultural divide between the Wayuu people and the local inhabitants. The Wayuu considered the river to be sacred, as it is part of their connection to Mother Earth, and it was something they organized their local economy of agriculture and trade around. In the last 30 years, the government's effort to pursue ownership of the land and the creation of reservations was in fact a way to get local inhabitants off the land. The government's partnership with multinationals drastically changed the local landscape. So now I'm going to be talking about human rights and how that has been a challenge to the Wayuu peoples. The harsh climate conditions, the exclusion from the government, and the contamination of their environment caused by the largest open coal mine in South America have made their living extremely hard. The Wayuu peoples have become victims of severe human rights violations, including forced displacements, violence, and illegal theft of their land. The Wayuu tribe has been historically oppressed and are still struggling for their lives and for their community existence, as they are battling against constant attacks and violations of their human rights by the El Querejón mining consortium. The Wayuu peoples have become deeply marginalized and neglected by the state and are affected by the violence. So now I'm going to be talking about the similarities between the Wayuu peoples of Colombia and the Indigenous peoples of Canada. So with my findings, I found quite a few similarities between both my focused people groups and the Indigenous people of Canada. And some of them are, they both have informal leaders. I also found similarity in that they both value their connection with Mother Earth. So, for example, like I previously mentioned, the Wayuu women use their connection with Mother Earth to impart that wisdom into their agricultural initiative. And this is also seen in Indigenous culture with herbalists and herb doctors and such. I also found that both groups have been exploited and stripped from their land that was rightfully theirs. I found that they both cherish cultural heritage and knowledge, and that they also prioritize the passing of knowledge from generation to generation, which I think is huge because that's something that that enables both people groups to have their culture survive in a way. And the last thing I also found was that they both create textiles, arts that are tied with important symbols that represent their culture and ways of knowing. So here are my references. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for paying attention, and I hope that you guys were able to gain some valuable knowledge and points from my presentation.